Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. This is actually part of a playlist of me trying to learn the top 100 cryptocurrencies from the CoinMarketCap website. I welcome you to join me in this journey, as well as me doing live videos on news stories that happen on a daily basis. Click the subscribe button down below, and you can also click the little bell notification to get live updates of when I go live. And you can actually jump in, and I encourage you to be part of the Team BitGlen live chat that we have going during the live content. If you like this style of content, give this video a thumbs up. Also comment down below any thoughts that you may have of anything that I've said in this video. You can also follow me outside of the YouTube comment section on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, all with the name BitGlen. Or if you really want to be part of Team BitGlen, you can actually join in the Telegram group chat, which is in the description down below. Follow that link and you'll be able to chat to me as well as all the other guys that have followed me since the beginning of this journey. And if you really want to help support me and this channel grow, I'm not trying to shill or sell any coins in particular. I'm actually trying to support myself using the Team BitGlen brand that me and Team BitGlen helped design together, and we actually have a website called teambitglen.com, so head over to there and purchase a piece of merchandise if it tickles your fancy. So let's get into the main content of today. Hey guys, today we're going to be discussing the 9th biggest cryptocurrency on CoinMarketCap website, and that's called Iota. Now what Iota have decided to come up with, they've come up with a different type of blockchain altogether. So they're not just forking or copying another protocol that's already out there, they've created a brand new one themselves, which is really exciting when you have a look deep into it on how it actually works. I'm just going to give a brief overview here, I'm not going to get too technical because I'm not clever enough. But let's have a little look at what Iota is on a core level. So they're saying that they're going to be an open source distributed ledger, a bit like what we've heard from a lot of the other cryptocurrencies. But this is the problem that they're solving. Currently, with the way that blockchains work, you have these big blocks of data. So you can see this traditional blockchain here. One block gets worked out by a miner. That miner gets rewarded for that, and then a miner can then progress onto the next block. But this takes quite a long time. Although it is secure, it also incurs high fees. You have to incentivize or reward the miner that is working out that block. So therefore, it's very hard for blockchain to scale to a bigger state than it already is, because it has these set parameters and set rules in place on how much data can be worked out in any one time. Iota have come up with this, I suppose, blockchain that's called Tangle. This looks obviously like a big mess, but it's actually supposed to be like that. So how they actually work is whenever someone wants to do a transaction on Iota, part of the background process is that you're actually confirming the previous 2 transactions that happened before you. So let's just say, for example, I want to send some Iota to my mother. My mother receives that Iota, and then she wants to also forward on some other coins. She would have to work out the transaction that my sister done earlier that day, and also my cousin. They would get worked out on her device. Now, because these are such small amounts of transactions, this can be done on sort of any device that has an internet connection. So we're talking phones, tablets, smart TVs, you know, washing machines, dishwashers. It seems like everything's connected to the internet these days. Anything with an internet connection can actually transact with Iota and also approve transactions that happened previously. And this would update open source ledger for obviously making it very secure, but also no need for fees. No one's has to pay to use Iota. Now, I think this is really exciting. When I first started reading about it, I was like, oh my God, this is the future. This is it. Someone's figured it out. And something like this, it seems so simple. You think, oh, surely it's not going to work. Iota's been going for about a year now. Been very popular in the community. Literally, they shot from nothing to the top 6 cryptocurrency of all time on CoinMarketCap website, and they've dropped back a few places now down to the 9th place. But this is really exciting to me. This is a solution to a problem that obviously we're facing with a lot of blockchains, but is there some negativities in that? We'll get into that. One of the most exciting things that I just want to briefly touch upon with this tangled system, and because obviously the more people that use it, the more transactions before it can be approved. This means it has the opposite effect of, say, a blockchain. The more people that use a blockchain, the more condensed and bogged down the system gets. It becomes a bottleneck. So many transactions can only be worked out at any one time. With Tangled, on the other hand, the more people that get involved with Iota, the faster it becomes. Now, this is really important because this solves the problem that many blockchains are facing today. Now, I was watching a video that Iota actually have a YouTube channel themselves, which I was watching, and they actually said that their TPS, transactions per second, with a stress test run on their network, was actually capable of doing 1,000 transactions per second. Now, and Ethereum can handle about 15 transactions per second. So obviously Tangled's way ahead in terms of microtransactions. They actually were quite honest and open, and they said the only one that can actually beat us at the moment is Ripple. Ripple can handle 1,500 transactions per second at the time of recording that video. The downside to Ripple is that a lot of people considered it very centralized, whereas this Iota seems very decentralized, and it's very open source, and it's run by a non-profit organization. So you see here a lot of the websites with these coins, they're normally there iota.io, but this one's a .org, so it's a non-profitable organization. So yeah, it's really exciting. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into Iota before, but it's definitely opened my eyes to what is capable. So now we've got our head around what Tangled is and how it works on a very basic level. These are the unique features. It's highly scalable. It has 0 transaction fees. You can actually perform offline transactions. Devices never need to have a perfect connection, which is awesome. Low resource requirement, because you're only authorizing 2 transactions at a time. It's a very small amount of data that's being actually sent from person to person for them to authorize and send back data. So very little processing power needed. Secure data transfer. All data is encoded, allows secure data transfer, storage and reference. And this is something that we've discussed through the Team BitGlen live streams on a couple of occasions now. A lot of people are worried about quantum computing actually coming along within the next sort of 5 to 10 years, where instead of current computers where they have to actually decode data using ones and zeros, quantum computers can actually just search for the 1 or search for a particular 0 and actually solve the equation. So they'll be able to solve transactions at a level we can't even comprehend at the moment. So a lot of people are worried that actually Bitcoin and other blockchains will be hackable within the near future. What that means for that coin at that point in time, I don't know. It means they'll probably have to make some changes, which may come with its own drawbacks somewhere else. But already Iota is saying that they're quantum immune. Using special signatures, Iota is resilient to the next generation of computing. So if you're worried about quantum computing taking over blockchains, Iota are stating, I don't know how true it is, that they're actually quantum computer resistant, which is fantastic future-proof wise, because that is the next wave of processing power that is going to be available to the human race. So we'll see how that goes. They also have their own wallets, so you can actually download a desktop or a mobile wallet. I'll just go down to this page here. They're telling you the features of it, you are your own bank and how secure it is, and you can actually download this. It takes you through to you've either got this Trinity, or if you want to download a desktop version, it takes you to the GitHub webpage where you can download your own wallet as well. So it sounds good. Let's have a little look at some numbers and figures. So let's head on over and talk about some of the prices and history of Iota according to the CoinMarketCap website. Now, they've actually been trading for about 1 year now. you can see here that they actually started off around the 60 cent. Now this put it in, like I say, in the top 6 cryptocurrencies of all time instantly. So that's quite an achievement. Obviously a lot of people had faith in the project. And you can see here that it had a steady rise up to sort of $1. Then it actually 48 cent. I believe its lowest it went down to was actually 16 cent. This was a little while after it was released last year. But it had a steady increase all the way up to sort of 90 cent. Then it dropped back down, and now we're sort of getting into the $1 mark. And you can see here, obviously, when everything was going up, Bitcoin and every other coin that was going up, it did actually reach a peak of just over $5 per million IOTA. Now, why do I say per million? This is something that's very important because I think a lot of people get confused. The current price now is $1.08. Now, that is per million IOTA. Now, you might find this confusing. I certainly did when I first looked into it. When you look on the CoinMarketCap website, it says here max supply. And this figure here would lead you to believe that there is 2.7 billion IOTA, but that's not the case. It's more like 2.7 trillion. But because these figures are so overwhelmingly large, the actual price per IOTA, so a single unit of IOTA, same as a Satoshi is 1 unit for Bitcoin, IOTA are measured in I's. So 1 I is worth something like 0.0000010 cent. You know, saying something tiny like that. But because these figures are very confusing and such large numbers, Iota actually released a YouTube video series channel called Everything Tangled, and here they tried to explain in simple terms the maximum supply of Iota. So rather than me try and pronounce these numbers to you, I'd rather them do it coming from the horse's mouth. So let's just check out the actual max supply of IOTAs.
2,779,530,283,277,761. This is IOTA's maximum and current circulating supply.
Well, I think he said quadrillion or something like that at the beginning, so a huge number. But when we compare this number to CoinMarketCap website, you'll see here that obviously it is a lot lower number. Now, why is this? Now, you'll see that instead of it being called IOTAs, they're actually called MIOTAs, and the reason for this is because it's it's per million IOTAs. So when you're actually buying $1 worth, you're actually buying 1 million IOTAs. So bear that in mind. If you was to go and spend $10 on IOTA, depending on what exchange you're using, make sure you're receiving in exchange 10 million IOTAs, not just 10 single units of IOTA, because then you're being ripped off. So that's something you want to bear in mind, and I thought I'd point that out because I have read that some people are getting ripped off, especially with decentralized exchanges where you actually are buying off another person. It's quite misleading to be able to sell 1 unit of IOTA which is worth 0.0000010 cent as opposed to buying 10 million IOTAs for $10. I think that CoinMarketCap actually reduced some of the zeros, changed it to a millionth of IOTAs because the figures were so large and obviously confusing for people to understand. Bear that in mind. When I'm quoting IOTAs worth $1, I actually mean 1 million IOTAs is worth $1.08. So that's something you want to bear in mind. Now, at one point, like I say, they were worth $5.50. Obviously, this was at the peak. Based out on where we're at today, you're talking about a 5 times gain if you was to get back to those all-time highs. If you could get some IOTA now, you can see here, even at some point since the big drop, they've actually managed to get back up to $2.50, which this is pretty good because a lot of other coins out there haven't been able to get anywhere near their all-time high of November, December times, especially in the last 6 months. So the fact that IOTA did do that at one point is fantastic. But saying that, obviously it's suffered the same dip as all the other coins that are out there. As of recording this video, pretty much everything is down from where it is. Bitcoin is worth 6,700, Ethereum's under $500, so everything's gone down, and you can see that in all these graphs at the side here, and Iota is no different. Now, it seems like Iota are ticking all the right boxes. So they're quantum computer resistant, it's free to use. To me, this is the biggest thing. It is completely free, it's open source, it's decentralized. All the buzzwords that we want ticked off in a cryptocurrency, Iota has those. So why isn't it the #1 cryptocurrency? Iota has faced quite a few issues, and the biggest speaker of those issues is actually Richard Hart. So the biggest public speaker against Iota is actually Richard Hart, who I sort of respect quite a lot, watching his stuff in the past. And he's obviously pointed out some of the flaws of Iota. One of the most noticeable problems that he said that he's come across is that he has had a transaction being confirmed through the Iota wallet and then unconfirmed. Now, this is obviously very serious, because if you're using this, say, as in a merchant, so say you go to a shop and you buy something, normally you wait for the transaction to be confirmed, as we do with our bank cards. And then the shopkeeper will say, yeah, that's fine, go on, here's your receipt, or you can go. Now imagine if I leave that shop with, you know, my £10 worth of goods, but then later on the transaction is unconfirmed. Obviously he's going to be out of pocket, potentially I'll get done for theft. So this causes an issue. This is a big problem that Iota need to address and fix. I don't know how severe this issue is, but that's just going by Richard Hart's personal experience. He's a big developer in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. His opinion matters to a lot of people. You know, people should take note. So he has drawn obviously a lot of people now that also don't like Iota to his Twitter page. And the reason I'm showing you this is whenever you see anything posted on his Twitter, there seems to be a lot of backlash against Iota. Someone here, CryptoMed, he's talking about how Iota was actually down for a couple of days, yet they've still managed to keep #9 in the top cryptocurrency. It has a market cap of 3 billion. But then later on down here, someone's actually put, the network was never down, check your sources, it was only down for 5 hours, but again, still obviously an issue because of a snapshot. So a transaction took 5 minutes, which is still pretty damn good compared to some of the other ones out there. The point I'm trying to make, really, I'm not trying to point out whether someone's right or wrong in particular. Iota still has its teething issues, it still has problems at the moment. So you are investing in a experimental phase of a company and of a technology, so bear that in mind when making your investment. This isn't clear cut, this isn't the one. If Iota managed to solve all these issues, they actually have the potential to help with a lot of other microtransaction data transfers. So what I mean by that is you could maybe use this for the purchasing of things in video games. You could, I believe one of the examples they give through the Iota website is you could track the temperature of medical supplies. Because there's such small amounts of data being sent from device to device, and you only need a very small processing power, you could pretty much track anything and keep it on this tangled blockchain system, and other people will approve these transactions. And when I say people, it's not just people, I'm talking about devices like my phone, my computer, my tablet, confirming transactions for other people without me even knowing that it's happening. And it's such a small amount of data that it's not going to slow anything down from my end. So I'm really excited about Iota. I do believe they've got a way to go before they are considered obviously one of the best blockchains out there. So we'll see what happens in the future, but just bear that in mind. Make sure before you buy into Iota, you do your own research, and whether you feel that the risk investing in such a controversial new type of blockchain, or a completely different type of blockchain, is worth the reward. Me personally, after doing my research and looking into the creators of Iota and also what they're trying to achieve, it's something that I will definitely be keeping an eye on, and I will be buying some Iota myself at some point. I don't own any as of this point. Again, this is not a sponsored video. This is just me trying to learn the top 100 cryptocurrencies. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Iota? Do you think it has the potential to be quantum computing resistant? Do you think that this is the way forward? free transactions in a very fast format, in a very secure format. Do you think this is the one? This could be the coin that gets to #1 and overtake Bitcoin one day. Because although they were trying to achieve a microtransaction payment method from device to device, this system could be used for many other processes in the world. So potentially someone may come along, have a need for the Iota system, not have even been invented yet, and therefore Iota is going to skyrocket in price but also in use. So that's something that's really interesting to me. I'll be keeping my eye on Iota. The last couple of coins that I've actually looked at in this video series, Iota seems to be the one that's different, and it's my belief that if you have everyone doing the same thing and one person's trying to do something different, then they're the one to look out for. So they're either going to crash and burn or they're going to take over the world. So that's my view and opinion on Iota. Please comment down below any thoughts that you have on what I've said in this video, whether you think Iota is any good or not, what your personal experiences are using Iota. You can also chat to me in the Telegram group chat. The link to that is down below. It's completely free and there's just a good bunch of people all talking about cryptocurrency every day in that group chat. If not, if you want to talk to me more one-on-one, you can join me on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter, all with the name glen. If not, I'll see you on the next video on YouTube. See you later, guys. Bye.